Alright, so we are back with a different set of circumstances this time, a little more details about finding answers in the calculator. So I have two goals for this video. This one is about how to enter a fraction into your TI, and then also how to do these larger values, which may not fit on our standard window. So I'm going to go back to y equals and clear out the previous math problem. And we're going to talk about entering that fraction. Casios have fraction keys, TIs do not. So in order to enter a fraction, we're going to need to use our dividing sign and some parentheses to let the calculator know that 2 is divided by 3. I'm going to press 2 divided by 3, close off the parentheses, that's 2/3. Of course, on the calculator it's going to show up as a slash, so it looks more like a fraction. But the button is a regular old divide sign. Then we'll press our variable key to get our x, and then we'll press our 4. So it's going to look like this on the calculator. We'll type it with that symbol. Alright, so to enter 2/3 x plus 4, I'm going to put parenthesis, which is right above the 8. 2 divided by 3, close off the parenthesis, which is above the 9. The variable key, remember, is up here by the alpha, and then add 4. Alright, so let's graph it and see what we see. We see it. Fantastic. So to the first question, find x when y equals 12. Okay, that's another y value, so I should go back, and if this one's in y1, this one will be in y2. So press y equals again, arrow down, press 12, redraw. Well, where is it? Why is it not there? Okay, remember this is the standard window. This is what we see on our graph paper. 10 is where it stops. We just put in 12. So it's up here, about where the M starts. So how do we make this bigger so we see more stuff? You press the window button. Okay, and you need to think to yourself, which number needs to be bigger than 12? Not the x. Doesn't matter about the x's. What about the y's? Yeah, I don't need to change the negative 10. That wasn't stopping me. It's the fact that the maximum y is 10. So what if I make my maximum y 15? Now I'll see 12. So I change my number and I press graph, and now I should be able to see the 12 zoom across my screen. Uh-oh. We still have a problem. If we find the answers by doing the intersection, these don't actually intersect yet. So we also need to give ourselves more room on the x-axis past positive 10. There's a little guesswork here. How big past positive 10? Since they're really, really close, not much farther. If they were still a big gap, you would need to guess a lot bigger number. So I'm going to go to the window button again. This time I'm going to change my x maximum to something a little bit bigger than 10. I think I'll do 15 of that too. Let's see if that was far enough. It is. Okay, so now I can find my intersection. Remember, that was pressing the second button and the trace button to bring up the calculate menu, and then you're looking for an intersection, so you want number 5, and then you answer the questions by pressing enter. So enter once, enter twice, enter 3 times. 12. When y equals 12, x equals 12. Okay, so when you're changing your windows, remember you have your x max to the right, your x min to the left. So if you need more space to the right, change x max. If you need more space to the left, change x min. Y max is at the top, y min is at the bottom. So if you need more space at the bottom, change the y min. If you need more space at the top, change the y max. All right. Our second type of problems over here. find y when x equals 5. Oh, okay. That, you may remember, we do while looking at the graph. I'm going to get the 12 out of there since we're just using the x and y equation here. I'm looking at the graph, and I need x to be 5. So remember, that's when we press trace and type in the number we need. So 5, and then press enter. 7.3 repeating. Y equals 7.3 repeating. Okay. No problems there. What about if we try x equals 20? Remember, we already pressed trace, so you can just change to 20. But it didn't like it. That means invalid dimensions there. Error invalid. Why is it invalid? Because the graph is not big enough. To get that to go away, you press clear and then go back to your graph. So my graph is not big enough. It can't see it, so it can't give me the answer. So I'm going to change my window. Which way will I need to go to achieve a 20? X max. X max needs to be bigger than 20. So I'm going to press window. I'm going to change X max. Anything bigger than 20 will work. So 21 would work, 22 would work, 58 would work. I'll just go 21 because I need 20. That's big enough. Redraw it. Now I should be able to do trace and 20. The window just needs to be big enough to see the value you're typing in. So y is 17.3 repeating. Alright, so hopefully you have a better understanding of how to put fractions into your TI and a little bit of a beginning understanding of how to change the windows. That'll take some practice being comfortable with it. Remember, at any point when you want to go back to 0, 0 at the center, press zoom and 6. Zoom standard. Let me write that down. Standard window. Whenever you get lost in your window and you need to return home, return to the standard window by pressing the zoom button and the number 6. Okay? And that'll bring you back to what you're comfortable with seeing on worksheets, and then we can modify from there. Usually, unless it's a word problem, we can see at least part of the graph in this standard window, and we might just need to move a little in one or two directions to see the intersection that we need. Okay, stay tuned for yet one more video to come.